First of all, started off by telling him you are not interested. So then things happened under the sheets. Let's leave it at that. And then finally, a few days ago, I believe last night, you told him he was two-faced. Joanna, what's up?
Ebuka, I'm fine.
Very well. You also seem to be in the same sort of situation. I don't know, correct me, but there's a lot happening with you and Faith. In that situation, almost he professes his feelings to you, but Jason ended up under your sheets last night. So what's up there? You've had quite a bit to say about her behind her back, and it's a little conflicting for me. Is this a thing for you on the show? Is it something you want to carry out outside the house? I'm not sure, because you keep insinuating that this is just for the show. It felt like it was a conquest for you in the moment.
Exactly.
Yo! Hey! Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, individuality in the mud. Boundaries. My man in the mud. My girlfriend, the love of my life, the only one I care about, in a double mud. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody that went into Big Brother's house with one form of standard or the other, in the mud. Because come on. Tonight's live eviction show, oh my goodness, just literally tabled everybody's matter in public. Everybody come and see your shit. Oh, hey, identify the color of your urine, identify the color of your shit. Which one is yours? Come and pack it. That was the business of tonight's live eviction show. And ladies and gentlemen, I dove my heart for brother Ebuka. Ebuka did the utmost most. When we talk about a 10 over 10 season that says do the most, Ebuka came doing the most tonight. I cannot thank Ebuka enough. Ebuka Spices, thank you. Because it was long overdue. It was long overdue. What are we saving the drama for? What are we saving the gist for? Listen, every single question that we knew had the potential of burning up the house, Ebuka literally asked all of that questions tonight. And guys, there was no better way to have done it. I was really satisfied. I had so much fun. See, I'm filled up. I'm filled with satisfaction. I am so excited. You know, it's just very painful that Joanna got evicted tonight, so she's not in the house at the moment to receive, you know, probably the backlash or whatever would have come from Faith, whatever or however way he would have handled it, yes, you know, but then she's out of the game. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight's live eviction show was one for the books for this season in particular, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And we're going to dive into the details right now, all right, because a lot happened and there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to analyze, and ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to dive into it. So please make sure you watch to the end of this video. Do not skip out in any part because there's a lot you do not want to miss out on, all right? And you're all specially welcome to my channel. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory Elijah, and I call myself the girl with the tea. Without further ado, let's dive right into the details of this video. Okay, so first, let's begin with Ebuka's first interaction with the housemates. He had first started with Zita, the head of house. Now, his question to Zita was about her numerous conversations with Kola, about her sentiments towards housemates that have been giving her stress during this week of her head of house reign, especially with focus on Coin. She had actually tabled out a number of complaints about Coin, more especially directed at how aggressive he had been towards her. One of those times when they were rehearsing for their Ouija presentation, and then something had happened this week when she was trying to wake him up and the guy had been sort of aggressive towards her. So for her, what's going on? Why are you always aggressive towards me? You're not this way with any other female in the house. So those were her complaints, and apparently it turns out that yesterday after Ebuka had evicted Thelma and right, Morgan, she had actually said something about, oh, it would have been better if it was Coin that had gotten evicted, that then the eviction would have made more sense. So Ebuka had asked her, you know, what is that all about? And, oh God, this housemate, yeah. She explained herself, but she was trying to water it down to make it look like it was just a harmless conversation she had with Kola. You know, she was trying to make it look like, the guy just rubs her off the wrong way. He just gives her the ick, this and that, that and that. But she wasn't very bold enough about it. And in a way, I was kind of disappointed that, come on, Zita, we actually expect better from you. We know you to be the type that when you've had enough about something, you will come with guns blazing and you would speak your mind. So now, why are you shying away from the truth? You're telling half truths. It doesn't really make sense. But anyways, while she was speaking, I was looking at Coin's countenance. You and I know that Coin will never ever give off any reaction. Yes, the guy had this poker face right there, sat beside Isabella. Isabella was the one making faces. He wasn't really making faces. And I'm like, well, it will be a wasted effort to even wait around the night to see if Coin is going to say anything about it, because he just might not say anything about it. Anyways, moving on, Ebuka had moved on to have his one-on-one moment with Thelma on the stage. And to summarize, Thelma had let us know that it is capable that she's with. So when he comes out of the house, they're going to kick off from where they left off inside the house. So ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to see how that works out. Thelma has a 2-year-old son. Question is capable willing to be everything that Thelma wants? Because remember, Thelma says she wants a man that will be able to take care of her son. So the question is capable up for that? Is that what capable also wants? I cannot wait to see how that pans out, all right? Now, on to the next interaction of the night. Dede on her interesting arc, Ebuka called it her arc with Kola, from telling Kola that she was not interested in him, that she has a serious boyfriend on the outside, to all of a sudden doing stuffs beneath the sheets. Guys, Ebuka literally said they were doing stuffs beneath the sheets. See, that was how my body was treating me when Ebuka was interacting with this girl, because listen, it had to be said. So Ebuka put it that way, you know, from rejecting the guy, from telling him outrightly that she's not interested, to all of a sudden doing stuffs beneath the sheets with him. And then last night, telling him in a pillow conversation that she thinks he's two-faced and she doesn't really trust him. So what is that all about? Ladies and gentlemen, first off, I'm going to give it to Dede. She did not decide to even try to debunk anything. She did not try to debunk or defend anything. Instead, she literally avoided all the first part of the question to the last part of the question about her saying that Kola is two-faced. And I'm going to be frank with all of you. Everything Dede explained did not make sense to me. She was just beating about the bush. And even Ebuka was trying to make sense out of what she was saying. It was very obvious that it did not make sense. At that point in time, it felt like her brain was scrambled up. It felt like her brain had frozen. It felt like she did not know what to say. It felt like she did not expect that Ebuka will expose them so soon, or maybe this late. Yeah, remember, they've been doing things and Ebuka has not been saying anything about it. So in our mind, oh, they're not going to say anything about it, but then boom, tonight, Ebuka poured out all their dirty linen in public. And ever since then, I was just checking in on Dede's countenance the entire evening of the live eviction show. You could see that she was lost in deep thoughts. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. Whatever Dede responded to that question, it did not make sense. Honestly, it did not make sense to me. Yeah. Now, moving on to the next question. This one was for culture. According to Ebuka, both evicted housemates and housemates inside the house, they all have this agreement that culture is the news carrier, the news spreader of the house. You know, that anything you tell culture, just know that it's going to spread it to everybody around the house. Oga, what's up? And culture said, well, it doesn't send anybody, like he doesn't really care about anybody's opinion. He's not looking for anybody's validation. He is what he is, and that is that. I say, chai! As much as this is good for TV, it doesn't really make, like, it's not really good for someone's reputation, because you can imagine how his relationship will be on the outside with his fellow housemates. I mean, when the season is finally over, I have a strong feeling that his relationship with his fellow housemates is just going to be shallow. You know, it's just going to be on the surface level. People would no longer really trust him. People would not really want to tell him their secrets. People would not really want to keep him close. They'll probably want to keep him at arm's length because of the fear of, oh, who would culture go and tell? What will culture go and tell this person? You know, how would he twist the narrative now to go and speculate this information I'm about to share with him? So I don't think it's really a good thing. You know, even though he's trying to be nonchalant about it, I feel like he has completely smeared his reputation. I mean, guys, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, the next order of the evening was Bright Morgan's after eviction interview with Ebuka on the stage. And it was very obvious that the live studio audience, they really liked the guy. I mean, he was looking dashing, was looking amazing, yes. But anyways, Ebuka had questioned him about Mide, because obviously that is what everybody wants to know about. So Ebuka had questioned him about Mide, that, oh, it was a major conversation, you know, between them and, of course, in around the house this season. So there's the girlfriend at home, and then there is Mide inside the house. So who is it going to be? And I'm going to summarize for you, ladies and gentlemen. Bright Morgan deflected. He did not give any direct response or answer. He did not pick Mide. Yeah? And if you are one that can read between the lines, you will know that from his response, he actually chose his girlfriend at home. What he said was, when he came into the house, he decided that he was going to live the experience to the fullest. He was going to experience things for himself. He was going to live his reality. And what he had with Mide in the house, he does not regret it. He enjoyed every bit of it. And that is that. It is what it is. Ebuka asked him several times, so is it Mide? He said, oh, it is what it is. He did not pick Mide. So we're going to leave it until Mide comes out of the house, and then we will see if it's going to be Mide or if Bright is going to go back to his girlfriend. All right. But guys, I would want to hear from you. What do you make of his response to Ebuka? Do you think he actually answered the question? Now, moving on to the next one, ladies and gentlemen, this was a question to Jason J about how he continuously polices Sultana about who she dances with, but then ends up doing stuff with other people, you know, doing his own movement, until last night, where he had done stuff with Joanna in Joanna's bed last night. That why is that the case? And they were all laughing. You see, I wasn't surprised that Sultana was laughing, because remember, I told you all during our live conversation that Joanna was the one that gave Jason J the suggestion, the idea to be playing different girls in the house. She gave him that suggestion. But that's by the way. Jason J was laughing, you know, his friends, Rude Boy, Culture, they were hyping him, they were calling him City Boy. The guy too was smiling, you know, for him. He has done the best, he has done great. And then he said, Sultana can do whatever the fuck Sultana wants to do, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do, however way he likes it, with whoever and whenever. I said, okay, oh. This is the same person that came to the diary room today and was telling Big Brother that he knows that he has made a lot of mistakes, that when he goes out of the house, he's going to go and talk to the person he cares about, that's his girlfriend, and they're going to continue their relationship. I say, Madam Girlfriend, obviously, okay, let me not say obviously, but from the look of things, Jason J might not win the money. So, are you going to accept him back? After sharing the national microphone in around the house, you're going to accept him back? Or what is it going to be? Now, Nasabio, what's my business in there? Now, Ebuka moved on to Joanna. And I'd asked Joanna, that come, what's with this arc between you and Faith? This guy professes a lot of sweet words to you. He does a lot of things for you, does the most for you. But then you end up in bed with Jason J last night, doing stuffs beneath the sheets. What's up? And ladies and gentlemen, as Ebuka was talking, yeah, Joanna's face looked like she wanted the ground to open so that the ground would swallow her, because she was awashed with shame. You could see it all over her countenance. She felt ashamed. She did not think that Ebuka was going to expose her like that. Now, Unlike Jason J that was laughing when he was exposed, Joanna was disgusted. She felt ashamed. But then her response to that was that, Faith is very good with words. Faith is just her friend. That she's not going to tell Faith what to say and what not to say. She's not going to tell Faith how to feel and how not to feel. She's not the one telling him what to feel. You know, that kind of thing, like very, very nonchalantly, like, I don't care, I don't give a damn type of way, which was really hurtful. The way she said it in a very, very dismissive manner. And then Ebuka then asked her, okay, what are these people to you? And she said, we're just friends. They're just my friends. And ladies and gentlemen, as Joanna was responding, initially Faith was smiling, but then this guy was so hurt, he literally had to use his hoodie to hide half of his face because he was really, really hurt. And you see, almost immediately, that was when Ebuka evicted Joanna. And this yeye girl went to Faith to go and hug him goodbye. I love the fact that Faith did not even see her. She was going for a hug. The guy did not even move. He did not even stand up. Like, the whole house was shocked. They were all shocked. And then Joanna was like, voila. And then she left. Other people went to hug her and then she left. Faith did not even turn to look at her leave, you know. And you see, the other housemates, they were shocked. But guys, I totally understood how Faith felt. I could totally understand why Faith was feeling the way he felt. That was a huge betrayal. Now, yes, it's a given. They were not in a relationship, like a romantic relationship. They were not a couple. They were best of friends, right? And Joanna, for one, has been proclaiming and declaring her so-called individuality, about how she wants so much for herself, about how she's not in the house to sheep, about blah, 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 blah. I mean, Faith obviously made his intentions known, that he likes her, and she said that is not what she wants, right? So they were good with just being friends. Only for her to go and do whatever she did with Jason J of all people, last night, in her bed, beneath the sheets. And you know the most painful part? The fact that Faith was the one that prepared her for bed and tucked her in that same bed. Yo, not knowing that she was going to go and wait for a good time with Jason J of all people. Nah, that was nasty. That was really nasty. And I like the fact that he did not even bother to give her a farewell hug. She does not deserve it, yes. But then again, we will see what happens after the show, see if they will reconcile, or if they will have conversations, or if they will carry on with their friendship. And it was at that point in time that Culture also was evicted. Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, a double eviction tonight, making it the best weekend of this season, if you ask me. Now, Ebuka's interaction was not over. Last but not the least was Kola. Ebuka went ahead to ask Kola that, come, you've said a lot of things about, let me hold on a second. He said about Kola's conversations with Dede, that he said a lot about Dede behind her back. Is this just for the show, or is this something that he's looking forward to continuing outside the house? And Kola, you know, Kola talks a lot, so I'm just going to summarize. What he responded to was that it's a fact that Dede has somebody outside the house and he really likes the girl. So for him, he's trying to live in the moment. He's making his advances towards her, and they are where they are now, and they're just living in the moment. Now, Ebuka was not satisfied with the answer. Ebuka had gone ahead to ask that, okay, you put it this way, but for you, it seemed like it was a conquest for you all season. It seemed like you really wanted this whole thing to happen. Hence the way you applied pressure. Hence the way you put in so much effort to ensure that the whole thing worked at the end of the day. Why is it so for you if you're just living in the moment? Why? And Kola, you know, went zigzag. Oh, Dede is a gorgeous girl. She's beautiful, very stunning, she's very attractive. I like her a lot. But then again, I'm just trying to live in the moment because I don't know what's going to happen outside of that. The guy was just beating around the bush. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, as Kola was going on and on talking, you could tell from his body language that he knew he had been caught. He knew he had been exposed. Now, I was also looking at Dede, and that one sat beside Kola like the wife to Mr. Omotosho. And you see, I put out a tweet. I said that if after Ebuka had blatantly exposed Kola like this to not just the whole world, but to Dede herself. And Dede still carries her 2 left leg to go and sleep with Kola in the same bed, allow him to cuddle her and kiss him, and then they do all those their shenanigans they normally do at night. Not just this night, but still every other day to the end of the season. Then she'll be the biggest fool of the season. Her fans are going crazy on Twitter, but I'm saying this again. If after Ebuka has given Dede all the expose that she needs to know about this guy and his intentions towards her, and she still carries herself like a chicken brain to go and do whatever she does with this guy again, that she's the biggest fool of the season. Game or no game, at the end of the day, it's all about playing smart. She needs to take back her power. And after the show, she was talking to Mide. That one, as usual, came with her usual bad advice. And she's thanking Mide for the bad advice. So, ladies and gentlemen, can't wait to see how this whole thing pans out. Yeah, as I said before, this was one of the best eviction weekends ever this season, and I enjoyed it. I don't know about you. So guys, just go ahead, let me know your thoughts about all I have shared in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.